Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Many congratulations.
Birthday.
So, here we go. Oh, we've got the position again. Right. Luke, you were white. G3. Bit of a slice serve there.
Yeah.
Have you played that before?
Can't remember.
Can't remember.
I think he has. I saw it in the
Okay.
database, but it's probably something from like 1999
It's
or
sad, isn't it, when you
98.
need
So
your opponents to tell you if
it's
you've
yeah.
Okay.
At any rate, it's all I think pretty standard. Our first 10 moves or so.
Pretty standard until we got to around about here, and then...
Right, in Rook B1.
Rook
Actually,
B1.
yeah, I actually looked at this briefly before the game, and the computer suggested this a very unusual move, Knight E1 instead of Rook B1.
Knight E1.
And I had looked at Bishop D4, Bishop takes F6, takes, Bishop takes, Knight takes D5, Bishop B2, Rook B1, Bishop D4, C4. And I wasn't really sure what was going on. I guess, you know, when you prepare, certainly this wasn't the first thing that I was expecting, so I just sort of saw this position, and I assumed it was a game, so had this happened, I would have just played the position. I think it's quite interesting, to say the least.
Did Knight E1 enter your head?
I didn't.
No. Okay.
But was this preparation? It does look quite interesting.
Yeah, it does look quite interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we've both looked at this. But,
Rook B1, was that prep?
might have been.
Might be. Crafty move, very crafty move indeed. Just to protect B2. And...
Okay, so, I mean, D4 is very committal, certainly. I don't know if it's the best move, because it just forces a series of probably the next 10 moves are all very, very much forced. So probably I should have just played Bishop E7, Knight D4, takes, H6, and Bishop E3. White's maybe a little bit better, but certainly it doesn't seem like it's, you know, it doesn't seem like I'm in a whole lot of danger like I am in the game. In the game, it gets very, very ugly in a hurry for me.
very ugly in a hurry. Okay. B4. That was a bit of a shot.
He's not going to say much more.
No, he's not going to say much more, but that was a real shot, actually. All kinds of sharp things are going on. Queen B5.
Yeah, I think this really is the critical moment in the whole game. Luke used a lot of time here, and he ended up playing A4.
Yeah, there's two very tempting options, and in the end, I just decided I had to play one of them. But I mean, you know, with hindsight, it looks like Knight takes D4 was the more challenging one. But I underestimated Hikaru's move Knight E7, which he played in the game, and had I kind of assessed that more accurately, maybe I would have gone for this.
Hikaru, what were you going to play in this position?
Well, I was going to play Bishop takes A2. Now, after Rook A1, Rook F D8. And originally I concluded that after, let's say, Queen E3, for instance...
Can we bring you a little bit closer to the mic?
Sure, okay, so after, let's say, Queen E3 here, for instance, now I go Bishop C4, Rook F B1, A6, and with Queen D7 next move, this material's even, this should be completely fine. However, after Rook F
This is the line
D8...
that I looked at, which... and so I also concluded the white probably didn't have any advantage there.
But there is this move Queen H4, which I think we both completely underestimated here, because now, if I just play a normal-looking move like Bishop E6, there's this move Rook takes A7.
Ooh. There we are.
It's quite bad, if not losing, in fact.
Queen H4.
Yeah, so I I had looked at Bishop C4 here, but after Rook F B1, what's the move?
Rook D2.
All right, Rook D2. Because actually, if let's say I play a move like A6, for instance, instead of Rook D2. White has this move, rook a5, and now I can't defend the bishop because there are no squares.
Right, that's curious. Okay, but rook d2.
Right. Well, also let's say after rook fb1, if I play rook d to c8, for instance, there's queen e7 now, and once again it's quite bad.
Okay, but rook d2. So you're going to hit this one, are you?
Right. So now if rook a5, the whole point is to go
Queen
queen
b6.
b6 attacking f2. Actually, yeah. So I think after rook d2, the best try is bishop takes b7.
And then probably rook d8 or rook e8. I'm not sure which is the best move. Both look quite natural. And now, I mean, this, there may be some way for white to consolidate the extra pawn, but it's definitely not an easy thing to do. Black is very active, so could also actually go wrong for white with a couple of careless moves.
Yeah.
I think we both I think agree that this certainly is much more challenging because I have many opportunities to go wrong, whereas in the game it seems like I'm just pretty much equalizing.
Okay,
without too much
97.
difficulty.
Yeah, so I had some ideas after knight a5, which I was expecting. And then I wanted to play rook a1 in this position. And now if, probably you take on b5. Queen b4 is actually possible, but take on b5, knight d4, and then either queen b6 or queen c5. If you play queen c5, then I take on e6.
Takes on queen e1.
F takes, queen e1, knight c6. Queen takes e6 check, king h8, and then queen d7 is important. And there isn't really a very good way to defend the pawn on b7, because if you play rook a b8, then I take on c6. I've won a pawn. Now there may still be ways to draw that endgame, but
it will be very unpleasant.
Yeah. Partly because of the back rank. If the pawn were on h6, black could play rook b2 and rook f5.
Maybe you can still go rook b2 anyway.
Yeah, then I go
but then rook
c1.
c1, yeah.
And now you can't go rook f5.
Yeah, this is.
If you could go rook f5 to c5, it would probably be quite easy. But
yeah, this is okay. It's probably still a draw, but I'll certainly suffer for a very long time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we were kind of getting quite excited about a4 and b5, and then we spotted knight e7 and thought,
yeah,
seems.
Yeah, I think it's.
I mean, the point was that I thought I had knight e7 covered, because in this position I thought knight takes d4. Well, as the game, c3 takes, rook takes, bishop d5. I thought I had the move knight f5 in this position, but it was just a hallucination. It doesn't win any material.
I just take on g2.
Bishop takes king f8, and then then the other person has to be careful as white.
Yeah. Okay, bishop f1. That was creative.
I think it's probably also sensible because, bishop takes d5, knight takes d5. It's not clear how I defend my pawn. Maybe I go knight e2, but bishop f1 has some ideas as well.
Yeah, bishop f1, there's still play at least. I mean, the other lines I think I'm certainly pressing, probably. Maybe it's a little bit better for black.
Okay, so a5 played.
Right, I don't know if takes is correct. I mean.
Well, I saw this idea of takes and rook e1 and c4, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah, actually, I thought c4 here was quite unclear. c4, bishop e4, rook a1, b6, f3.
Bishop, hang on, you've got knight f5 as well.
Knight f5 here, but then just...
Does that work?
Yeah,
I think that's okay.
Nothing.
Okay, that's
nice.
Okay, this is not how white should play. White should take on f5, if anything.
Okay, so he took.
Okay, now I think it's just completely equal. It's just a matter of really simplifying the position.
And neither was falling for any tricks. There was
right. I think bishop takes. Bishop takes c4
instead of knight c6, and then bishop takes c4, rook takes d4. Unfortunately, I don't think my idea was to play rook b7.
I guess even this, though, I think after knight d5, I'm probably still...
I think, yeah, knight d5 and
Is it bishop a6?
bishop a6. I wondered if there might, I mean, the only person who can...
I think here I just go rook
but,
b4 now.
Rook b4 probably just kills it, yeah.
Yeah,
Bishop
it's...
b5?
Bishop b5, knight c3? Double.
Yeah.
You can double, maybe.
Double.
Okay, yeah, this...
Careful,
yeah, this certainly is not what I'm aiming for.
Okay, back we go. So
But knight c6, I think, is just much easier and simplifies without too much difficulty.
Although there's a nice point if you take on c4 after knight c5.
Right, yeah, so if knight c5...
Which position?
Knight
knight
c5.
c5. I don't know if it wins for me.
I think it does. Takes knight c5.
Oh yeah, we were looking at this. We weren't sure.
Knight
Knight
b7.
b7.
And I think rook d4 is the
Rook
only
b4
move.
is the only move. But then, so I take on c6.
Takes. Knight
Knight
a5.
and now I think you have to play rook e6.
Wait,
Right.
but now...
If you go rook back on the c file, then I go. So the idea is rook c8 is the sort of looks like forced move, and then I play probably rook b4, and I think there's no way to stop rook c1, if I'm not mistaken.
But I have rook e6.
But you have rook e6, and then I think I just have to. Then I go rook b8 check. Well, I didn't see any way to win. King e7, and then rook takes e6. And then you have to
good
take
song,
with
yeah.
the king.
And just
then I
trade-
take on
trade
c4.
Okay,
Rook
so
check,
just
yeah.
draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but... Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
there's...
king
Yeah,
b7,
knight c... Yeah, of course. Go back. Right, after king e7, there's knight c6,
But
king
then-
d7.
Yeah. So king d7 is the only square, otherwise white takes on e6. But now rook takes e6, rook d1 leaves black a pawn.
Right,
well,
king g2 and take on
pawn
with the king.
Well, oh no, there's rook b8. Yeah.
Well, you take with the king.
Oh, you take. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you just take with the king, so... Yeah, I was just winning.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead bishop f5.
My trick, which was supposed to win, probably wouldn't have won anyway. And now I had to be careful as well, because after bishop f5, my intention was to play rook b2. But then
Sorry.
there was a very tricky
Yeah.
move, knight e5 here, and then I could be in trouble.
Yeah,
Because then,
this is what I was hoping for.
Rook e5, rook d1, bishop f1, bishop h3, and I can resign. Knight d7 check doesn't do anything. Just king
It's
g8.
king g8.
So
Okay.
so I had to be a tiny bit careful, but by playing knight, and that, if I put my rook on c1 or a1, I have to look out for knight into c2 or d3.
Yeah, knight before d4 to c2.
So knight b7 was a kind of accurate way just to simplify.
Right, now a6 falls, and it's like every
That's
other
nice.
game today, you reach even material
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
same side.
It's true. We had the Hoover was out today, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But we can't have fireworks in every round. But they were intriguing games anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any questions for Luke and Hikaru. But,
Has anybody got a question in the audience here?